If it will cost you your peace, if it will cost you your integrity, if it will cost you your life, then it's not wealth, it's something else. Hello professionals, welcome back to the Stealth Wealth Show. And if you're new here, kindly subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram. The goal of this show is to break down money, mindset, and modern life without any of the boring bits. I couldn't move past the episode where I found a very dangerous wealth cycle that starts with, maybe not necessarily starts with, but tilting towards stealing, going into betting, and then the tail end of it, which is the very, very extreme that I've also heard about in recent times, which is suicide. The loss of a life. I couldn't move past it. We addressed it in the last episode. Well, something just told me, no, you've not addressed this matter. That one was just the tip of the iceberg. We're just giving statistics and all of that. But today we'll be talking about that cycle all over again. I'll tell you some stories that I've heard within the last episode and now. I used to, just two, out of the plenty, just to save time. The first story I heard was of a boy barely in his 20s. In fact, it's not up to 20. I think the boy really is about 17 years old, thereabouts. He has a bank account. And his father did a transaction, used his account as a collection account, and then money entered in the afternoon. By the night, the boy was dead. What happened? Investigation goes to show that the entire money running into millions, 1 million thereabouts, was gone. Afternoon till night. And I asked, where did the money go to? Did it develop wings? And I heard it was used to bet. And I said, double jeopardy. Your father's money. That is a third party's money. It's a transaction that was done. Money just passed through your account. So your father is in grief and is in debt, because definitely the person who did transaction with the man would come for his money. So I asked myself, really, how did we get it? Because I couldn't wrap my head around it. What was the value system? What was the training? What was the child thinking? And then the night came. By dawn, reality started eating. And then the shame started closing in. And the boy couldn't bear it. Like, how will he explain to his father the next morning that over 4 million naira was gone in a struggling family? And what did he do? Crank sniper. Easy way out, isn't it? But that's the life of a human being, a promising young man lost on the altar called betting. I still cannot understand it. Death, not due to war, not due to Fulani herdsmen. It's not insecurity. This one is insecurity right on your phone. This one is not Boko Haram and it's not Trump's invasion. It is sitting right on your phone or at the nearest bus stop. Like me, I have one in front of my house. And when I see the caliber, the timber and caliber of people that kill, I just ask myself, that slow death of value and the invasion of a fast money mentality. I want my blue. Let me tell you the second story I heard. In fact, this one went viral on social media. That was where I saw it. In fact, the actual catching of the culprits happened via social media. It was of a woman that employed a driver. Paid well, provided accommodation to the young man, and tips here and there. The guy wasn't doing badly. Even the customers of the woman tips the guy because he was quote unquote well behaved. One day, that fateful afternoon, the guy came back to the house. Apparently, the guy worked with the woman for about 6 months, thereabouts. Just 6 months though. Sharpshooter. Strategy, planning, execution. Hmm? You know, people have financial goals, and betting can be one of them. The guy had his plans, and he found a way to execute it. Dropped the woman off at work, came back to the house, went inside, and picked up over 1 year's life savings of another human being that she had planned to use to send her child to school. And then you just come, pick it up. It's like the guy wasn't thinking because the house was actually proofed with CCTV everywhere. But yet, you know, when something is pushing you to just be pushing you like this, every reasoning part of the brain actually dies. And I'll still talk about the impact of betting on the brain system and how it almost turns into an addiction that people cannot find a way out of. Anyways, Oga went inside the house, picked up the bag, and ran. 2 weeks down the line, hotels, pleasure, behavior predictor, betting, finished another person's life savings. Like, how do you live with your conscience? It all starts from a little 200 here and there. Yeah, I can lose that one. But you're forgetting the rewiring that is happening to your brain. You're not realizing the deeper effects of that action. The guy stole the money, spent the money. Now he's caught. He's been sentenced to kill them. And that is another promising young Nigerian. I know you tell me it's not only Nigeria that people bet, but see, me and you, as far as you're my audience, you cannot be betting. Let me quickly tell you how the brain reacts and how it is configured when betting is involved. Just like any addictive behavior, gambling also affects the brain. And it's almost like a cycle, right? The first level or the first layer is that initial reward and pleasure game. You put your money, you win small because that's what those people do. They've configured the system, you don't know. You just win one small thing and then your brain releases a whole surge of dopamine and then you feel good. You're happy. And you're like, oh, we go again. We go again. We go again. Next thing, your brain connects that behavior or that pleasurable feeling to gambling. There are several other things that can lead to dopamine rush in a human being. But because we are focusing on gambling, betting, and its related allies today. So, under the initial response, which is the reward and pleasure, we have that dopamine surge and then the brain behavior link. You feel good, your brain automatically connects that feeling to the action you're taking. That's the ground level in the cycle or the flow chart of gambling and its process into addiction. Two, it starts to become a more long-term effect where it then becomes tolerance and habits, right? Tolerance tells you that this dopamine is not working anymore. So for you to be able to still feel that way, you need something more, you know, you need to have a little bit more effect on your brain. But because you have overused your charge of dopamine, you have used it, it has depleted. So how you would get that rush again is to do it more, harder, faster, just like Formula One. And gradually, it begins to shift into a habit. What is a habit? Something that you are doing consistently and almost permanently. And you know, you don't even have to sleep and wake up. You don't have to think. It's right there on your phone. So why do you have to think? The app is there. You just enter. Pam, pam. Bros, I beg, borrow me 2K there. I want to run one package. You want to run one racket. Like one of those kid guys will say. And then it just becomes a lifestyle. And that's the second level. Tolerance and habits. And at this point, you have lost control. Ah, don't worry, I'm okay. I can control myself. I have self-control. Nibo. You have slipped into impaired inhibition. Now when they say you enter body. That point, your brain can almost not help itself because it has been wired, it has been hardwired into that action. At that point, there's only one more place to go: conditioned responses, where even the cue or the sound effects of that gambling triggers something in your brain and it gives you pleasure. You're just happy. Like dropping the coin in the casino pot just already gives you pleasure. And then you associate everything around you that gives that vibe. And then you're looking for something more. And that's how you go into other things. Because of course, by then your company has changed. You know, they'll say there's something stronger. Oh, this moment. You are just learning. And you know the way the environment works. The environment is actually bigger than your values if you don't know. So you think you are the only one is an isolation. You know all these habits. You just see that you find something similar in the next person, and before you know it, that one is doing something higher. My own dopamine rush is higher. And before you know it, you're gone. And your brain becomes permanently configured. And then they say, oh, it's a demonic attack. It's not a demonic attack. And you can come out of it. But where did we even start from? Like, what is even the cause of this thing? Because I was just researching and I was trying to see that what is actually responsible. Why do? You know, I said it earlier that I cannot wrap my head around it. So I started asking people, I started asking around that what's even the real cause of this thing? Maybe for the rich folks, it's pleasure, or they just want to sit in the casino and just, prove that they have some buck in their accounts. And those ones, they'll say they are rich already, so should we excuse them? No, we will still not excuse them because it's bad behavior. But you see, for the people go that are neck deep into this thing, it's just that psychology of fast money. Let's make it quick. Me self won't blow. We can quickly double this money, one game at a time. Just give me number. They even consult prophets to give them number just because they want to be wealthy, want to make sharp money. You know, we live in a society that mocks processes. They look at you in the eyes and say, you are still there. We have moved. Oh, you are trusting God. Oh, yeah, you're the long thing. Oh, you want to open a barbing salon? Seriously. You now sit at the streets after your BSc. You want to go and be rolling with those boys. And they make you feel like a piece of trash for wanting to do the right thing. That's the society we live in. Unfortunately, these folks are on social media. What they will show you is the finish line. Nobody shows you the rigor. Nobody shows you the pain. Nobody shows you what they have to go through. Nobody tells you the number of blood that needs to be shed. Nobody tells you the amount of drugs they have to use to sustain the ogboju. Nobody tells you. You just see the allure and the glam on the gram and you think, what have I done with myself? Where am I in the scheme of things? But guess what? That is not how to blow. You need to build. So if you're looking for who will tell you that, don't worry, see, just put money here today, tomorrow you shall be cashing out, or just join us. We will show you the way. And they don't have fundamentals to teach you. They're not teaching you how to grow, how to be patient, how to invest, how to diversify your portfolio. But where they are taking you to, even you don't know, you're going to be careful. We have confused wealth with noise. Honestly, everybody's just making noise now. And you know the sad part of this thing is the loudest noise maker will gain the attention of even people who are not supposed to pay attention to them. People making hard labor, creating things that are being creative. You will not see anybody that will support them. But make noise, do one crazy thing, pull a crazy stunt on TikTok. People will be looking for you. But how do you sustain that? People that have gone through that process, where are they today? Can you point? Can you just sit back and reflect and look for the last 3 people that did crazy things and blew on TikTok, on Instagram, on all of those platforms, and ask where are they today? Can you just do that research and see if it lasts? Because such things do not last. Even if they get funding, even if they get backup, even if they get the support, they don't have the discipline that is required to sustain it. So at the end of the day, anything you build in a rush comes crumbling in the same rush. But what should be the lesson? What should we take out of this episode? I'm not here to whine about whether you're betting or not. You know, what you think you want to control is actually spiraling out of control because your brain is being rewired to lose control. You need to start to look at what you're doing, because every shortcut comes at a cost, especially as professionals. You go to work, 5 a.m. you're up, Lagos traffic. You are not back home, 11 p.m. And then after everything, you now blow it up. Oh my shit. You would have borrowed money before the month end just for an illusion of wealth, or for a chance that you would even make anything. And then you start to become inefficient at work. You start to become disgruntled at work. And that's if you don't start to steal your employer's money. And then what happens next? You lose your job. But guess what? You're not just going to be losing your job. You'll be losing your peace. You'll be losing your reputation. Especially if you work in financial services here and you're betting, it will soon catch up with you. The tragedy is not just in the heart. It's in the emptiness that follows. And as that emptiness grows, you just go down into despair. And then what? Suicide. And suicide needs not to be physical death. Plenty people are walking corpse because they've lost themselves. They've lost their joy. They've lost their spirit. They've lost their soul. The only thing on the face of the earth is their body. And honestly, that is why I have to talk about this again. What's the way out? Let's come and draft the way back to sense, because we cannot stop talking about this. We can't, because we have a generation of confused young people. And if nobody is talking about what is right or wrong, then everybody just thinks the most popular agenda wins. What is the way back to common sense? First, you need to have a vision. You need to know what are those things that you're looking forward to. You need to think about what it is that you're currently doing and where you want to get to in the nearest future. Because my people perish for lack of understanding. I'll just put vision there. Because they did not understand, because they lacked vision. They lacked purpose. And of course, you lack direction, because every way would look like a way. Fast money actually distracts you from true goals. You need to recognize the seduction that comes with wanting to make money fast. And you need to tame that appetite. It may feel exciting, that one big win that comes with gambling. Yeah, it's exciting. But if there's something in you that is telling you that this high reward is coming with high risk, and that high risk can even be you risking your life, then your mind would communicate with your brain that it is time to tame that appetite. Why not build small wins instead of giving in to that desire, instead of that big win one time that makes you squander all your life savings? Build small wins. Invest in things that you can see grow. Do small businesses and watch it grow. Maybe we should start with planting a seed, even in your house, and start watching it grow. Give life to something, because there's a way having nature around even helps you. So maybe if you plant a seed and you start to nurture it, maybe your brain will start being reconfigured. Save 10% here and there. Invest, learn a skill, just do something that gives you that gradual gratification, so that the hardcore wiring that has been done in your brain can start being reversed. And guess what? It will not be in a day. It will not happen in a day. But at least the process of reversal would begin. You need to use your resources more responsibly. I've seen people that earn big inheritance, 1 year, all gone. So what was the point of your parents leaving it? What was the real point? Because if they had known, maybe they should have just spent all their money. Yeah, that is not to say that you should not work for the future, but you need to learn to be responsible and accountable for the things that has been committed into your hands, including your salary. Yes, you heard me. Your salary is one of those things that has been committed into your hands, and you need to be able to use it responsibly. Your ability to strengthen your self-discipline and self-control. Self-control is very foundational to every habit and every behavior, whether it be gambling, whether it be excessive eating that also takes your money away, whether it is excessive sleeping, because a little sleep and a little slumber too, poverty will still catch up. So it's almost as though Anything that is done excessively is designed to take your money away. Anything that is done excessively is designed for ruins. So you must learn how to practice self-control. You recall I said earlier that when you are in a space, it will be like a network. You just be seeing the people inside that space with you. You need to avoid those kind of environments that draws you back so that you are not of them that draws back onto perdition. You need to avoid those friendships. You need to avoid those people that tells you, podcast kan ló gbọ́, ló wá sóbà bí eléyìí. Pàdí mi cheer up. Jẹ́ n tiẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ gbé ẹ jáde náà. And before you know it, ó ti jáde, sọ pé ó ti lọ. You see? So you need to avoid those things so that you are not going back into those spaces. And lastly, you have to celebrate the process over results, because there is nothing that is built that wasn't built through a process. When Noah was to build the ark, God gave him specifications. I'm sure if he missed one of those specifications, you see him and those animals that were on board, maybe the world would not even be existing by now because he missed the process. When the wall of Jerusalem was to be rebuilt, there was a specification that was given to Nehemiah for him to be able to rebuild it. When Daniel and his friends entered Babylon, there was a process that they followed to be able to be who they became. Like serving how many kings in a row? One person. When Esther was to become the queen, there was something that was done. Ask yourself, what process am I following? Am I just waiting for the results? Am I just waiting for outcomes? Do I just want to blow overnight? What process have I crafted for myself? Or what process has the Lord given to me to follow? And God leads us. He leads us. He leads us every given time. He has instructions for us every given time. But are we willing to subject ourselves to that process? Because if you're unable to stick to process, then you might not come out. But if you're able to rewire your mind through some of these things that has been said, work hard, diligence. Seest thou a man that is diligent in his work? He shall sit before kings and not before mere men. You know why you are making so much noise? It's because even English adage has it that empty barrels makes the loudest noise. Where do you want to become? Where do you want to belong? Honestly, the only bet worth taking is a bet on your own life and on your destiny. That's just the ultimate bet. That your life will be preserved, that your destiny will deliver that which it has been sent to deliver, your growth, your discipline, and your peace. Don't trade with it for losses. It's not worth it. Remember today that if it will cost you your peace, if it will cost you your integrity, if it will cost you your life, then it's not wealth. It's something else. True wealth grows quietly, and that is why this show is called the Stealth Wealth Show. I hope you have learned something today, and I hope that you're going to repent and seek help, because you need to acknowledge that you need help. Until I see you next time, drop your testimonies in the comment section. I love you. Bye.